Hey friends, I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to watch today's vlog, which is exciting, but also I'm going to be talking about the big giveaway that I'm going to be doing for Vego Garden this week. So watch the video, and by halfway through, I'm going to specifically talk about the giveaway and how you can enter and how you can win one of these Vego Garden elevated raised beds. I'll see you in the video. Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. Y'all, today it's a bit blustery. It's a bit blustery. Y'all, we are preparing for the very first frost so far this season. And so I thought I would take you along with me as you can kind of see what we're doing for winter prep and to prepare for the first frost. So if you're brand new here, my name is Barbara. I live in Tennessee in Zone 7B. And tonight is going to be our first frost. Now, according to the Farmer's Almanac, our first frost was estimated to be October the 19th. But as you can see, we're almost a month past that. So always remember that the first frost is an estimate. But tonight it is happening. Even now as we speak, y'all, it's chilly. It's pretty chilly. The temperature is like 50 degrees, but the winds are like 20 miles an hour. So it's making it feel like 38, 40 is what the weather forecast says. And I feel it. So if I move a little fast, keep up today because it's a little cool. And so one of the first things we're going to do, we have several things on the list to do. So I'll kind of walk you through that. One of the first things we're doing is actually shutting down the greenhouse and closing all the sides and the doors. So our temperatures here have been relatively mild up until now. So in the daytime, it has been averaging, like this past week was like 70 in the 70s. But even on a cool day, it's been averaging around, I would say between 55 and 65 during the day. And then at night, it's getting down to like 40 or 45. So the greenhouse or the hot tunnel has been completely open this entire time, meaning both sides have been up as well as doors closed. Open. So this is the first time that we've actually closed it down this season. So this is marking like, okay, we're moving into a new situation. Now, in terms of the weather, it's supposed to be cold tonight and tomorrow night. So tonight is supposed to get down to 26. And then tomorrow night, I think it's 23. And then the day after that, the high is 65 again. And so even though it's our first frost, it won't be sustained where we're into these cold of a temperatures from for the next week or so. But we still need to prepare because there's some things that we need to take care of because the temperature is going to be significantly dropping. Now on the next few days in 72 hours when the temperatures come back up and it's around 65 in the high, then I will probably open the front door and maybe the sides, but we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. So the other thing that we have on the list today is we are going to cover the crops. Specifically, the only thing I'm really concerned about is actually the lettuce. Everything else is going to be cold hardy at the 25-degree mark. Lettuce is usually pretty tender when you get to 20 degrees and below. We're not scheduled to get to 20 degrees or below. I think, like I said, tonight is 26. Tomorrow night is 23, so we're still above 20, but I'm just doing it as a precaution, Everything else I'm not concerned about at all with those temperatures. Everything else will be fine. So if you have not been here the first time, what we have in our fall garden right now, we have broccoli, we have collards, we have bok choy, we have Brussels sprouts, we have cabbages, lettuce, spinach, cilantro. All of those things will be just fine. But because we have lettuce in several of the beds and it's not just isolated into one bed, we're going to just go ahead and cover the whole bed. But really, we're just trying to protect the lettuce. That's all we're doing at this point. Now, once temperatures get further below than that, then we will take extra precaution. And right now, what my husband has it being covered is with the same netting that we used when we first put our fall crops out here, which is more of an insect netting. It is not heavy fabric. This is from Tarps of America, and it is, I want to say, Agribon 19, versus when we do true frost cover protection, when it gets like really, really cold, like down in the single digits, we'll use our frost cover. That's Agribon 30, which is a heavier fabric and more for frost cover. But this should be fine, again, just as a preventative measure. So one of the things, like I said, we're going to do is go ahead and get this covered. And for the most part, we already have half of it covered. But then also I want to show you just how things are looking before we cover them all. And you can see kind of how things are thriving. And we want to make sure that it stays this way when we come out here the next couple of days to check after the frost. I think we also may do some harvesting today if we have time before it gets dark. Look at this parsley. It is just absolutely gorgeous, falling over the sides. You can see that our broccoli is all big. It hasn't started to head yet, but the leaves are humongous. This whole bed just looks absolutely amazing. You can just kind of see an overview. Oh, y'all, look at that. My calendula bloomed. We're gonna take her out. That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, my first fall calendula. And then we have another one blooming right there, but this one is fully bloomed, so we're gonna take her in the house. In this bed are mostly carrots, cilantro. There's some lettuce, so of course we'll cover this bed because of the lettuce that's in there. And then we have radishes. The radishes will be just fine. The carrots, not concerned about at all. So my husband is covering the beds. What you're going to see me do next is actually water. Now you may be thinking, why are you watering? Well, number one, watering before a frost is actually very important and very key because the moisture is going to actually help retain heat. Now, here are a couple of things to keep in mind. Now, in this tunnel right now, I just checked the temperature, it's 51 degrees. I would not water if it was 40 degrees or below. It is 51 degrees and it's going to be several hours before it drops below freezing in here. I have to look at the forecast, but right now at the time of this video, it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's not going to get below freezing for at least probably a good 12 hours. But the moisture is going to help to retain heat and protect the roots. Now, it's important when you do this, if you do this, again, do not go out there and water and it's 25 degrees. Also, as much as possible, I am getting the roots of the plant, not the leaves, because with the leaves being wet can create damage. But one of the things that I do try to do, again, is water really well before when I know a first frost is coming. So that's what you're going to see me do next. Again, really concentrating more on the roots than the actual leaves. Now, we do have drip irrigation, but our drip irrigation normally comes on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's going to be probably already 40 degrees by then. So that's why I'm watering now manually. We're actually going to turn the water off so that there is no water in the line and so that the drip does not come on. So that's the reason why I'm not using the drip. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff watered. Also, I'm going to be watering my fruit trees that are in the greenhouse, and then we'll tell you about those and what we're doing to protect those as well. Now on this side in the ground, we have collards and cabbage. Like I said, all of that will be just fine. But you can see the rest of all this looks good. These are collard greens. Now I could harvest those, but if you don't know, collard greens do much better after a frost. Now obviously they won't be outside, so they won't actually get the frost, but the temperatures will drop in here. Whatever temperature it is outside will be the same temperature in the high tunnel. But you can see the collard greens are coming along well, and then these over here are already covered. We got plenty of kale, plenty of collards all along in here that pretty much could be picked. You can see that there. Okay, so you guys probably haven't seen a lot of this because I haven't really talked about these fruit trees, but this is like my fruit trees in waiting. These are the ones that we did not get put in the ground. And so they're in the tunnel. And like I said, I don't know if they'll be fine or not, just because this is my first time dealing with the fruit trees. Now, in terms of the blueberry trees I have 5 blueberry trees out here. And then I'll kind of take you around and show you the different ones. But the blueberries I know will be fine because there's one blueberry bush that I have out here that's been out here for 3 years and I've never covered it, and it goes dormant and then it has come back. So I'm not going to be concerned about those because they've already proven that they should be a-okay. But I have elderberries out here. I also have blackberries. And so because I don't know, I'm just going to take precaution and go ahead and cover them. So I bought these, fruit tree covers. And they have a drawstring. I got them from Amazon. So most of these are actually blueberry. Okay, let me see if I can get over here to where this elderberry is. So this is probably big for this because this is in a pot. But basically you just put it over it and it has a drawstring that you can see right there. Has a drawstring. So again, I bought these for the outside, fruit trees outside. But let's use it to cover this as well. Yeah, this is big for this pot, but I guess it'll be okay. Kind of like that. And of course, just like with any type of frost protection that you're doing, I'll come out here tomorrow when the temperature is up, because I think the high tomorrow is supposed to be like 38. And of course, in the high tunnel, it'll be higher. The temperature will be higher because the sun will be out and things like that. So I'll remove this and then I can put it back on before the nightfall. But that's what we have. Let me kind of take you around and show you the fruit trees that we have out here. I'm going to select the ones I'm going to cover. I'm not going to cover any of the blueberry ones because I think they'll be just fine. But I think I'll cover like some of the other ones. Okay, so this right here is a blueberry tree. This is also a blueberry tree. This is the one that I've had for the longest. It don't look good, but I guess it's not supposed to look good at this stage. I don't remember it looking like that last fall, but maybe it did. I just remember all the leaves were off, and then when spring came, the leaves came back on. But that's the blueberry tree I've had for the past 3 years. And so hopefully this upcoming spring of next year, we should have like real blueberries to talk about. This right here is an elderberry. You can see it's not doing much of anything at all. So I will cover this one just to be on the safe side. We already covered that elderberry. This right here is also an elderberry. It has absolutely nothing on it. It kind of came that there was a little green on it when I first bought it, but it has nothing on it whatsoever. I'll actually look up and see what temperature they can go to. This is blackberry. That's a blackberry. I'm going to see if I can put both of these pots together and cover with one cover. I think that'll work. That's blueberry. That's a pink lemonade blueberry. And then these are blueberry. So yeah, that should be 5 blueberries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that means this one may not be a blueberry, but it has to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I have 6 blueberries. Okay, y'all, I just looked up elderberry hardiness. They are actually hardy to like negative 30 degrees. They're very cold hardy. I didn't know that because this is my first time. That's enough. Don't use too much. My husband's putting some mulch on the plants that will just help protect it. So that's my first time doing elderberries. Now, obviously, if they were outside in the soil, they would be protected to those low temperatures. But it did say if you have a container to make sure that they are protected somewhat. Now, again, it's only going to get to like 20 something degrees. But because these are new and not established, and I just got them like 2 months ago, that's why I'm taking the extra precaution. You'll see the same thing when we go out to the fruit trees out there. I'm going to cover the fruit trees because they are fairly new. And I'll talk to you about our orchard once we get out there. Y'all, we're outside, but look what my husband just harvested. If you've been here, you know we have a volunteer squash plant. I don't know if you can see it. It's right I'm pointing the wrong way. Right there. I'll put an arrow. That's a volunteer squash plant. We've harvested probably 3 or 4 squash from there, and I thought it was done. There's not another one over there, babe? I see another one. Anyway, he just harvested this one. Unbelievable. We'll take it. It's for free. Let's put that in our basket. Okay, y'all, it's giveaway time. So you guys know that I'm an affiliate with Vego Garden. And when it comes to metal raised beds, it is my favorite brand company when it comes to metal raised beds. My very first metal raised beds that are in my hot tunnel that you saw that I have my sage and my comfort in are from Vego Garden. There's only one other bed that I have out here that's not Vego Garden, but I'm gonna tell you, Vego Garden is the way to go. The quality of their beds is top notch, and one of you are gonna be able to win a completely free Vego Garden elevated raised bed. Now, out of all the beds I have, as you can see, I have several shapes and sizes. If you see all the way down at the very end, I have a circular one that's like 32 inches high. I have a smaller one in the middle, and then I have some that are 2 by 8. But this one by far is my favorite. It is the newest one that I have, and it's an elevated raised bed. This is a 2 by 8. That is what's going to be on the giveaway. You'll get a chance to pick what color you want. It comes in 3 colors, if I'm not mistaken. You'll be able to pick what size. And if you don't have the space for a 2 by 8, it also comes in a 2 by 10, a 2 by 4, and a 2 by 6. So you'll get a chance to get whatever configuration you want, and then also it has optional wheels or no wheels. So I'm so excited to be able to give away one of these beds to you. Here is how you're going to be able to win this bed. So let's talk about the rules. Well, first, hey, I'm gonna do you like TV does us. How they get to a cliffhanger and then they go to commercial. Let me do this first. Get this part done, because I got to get this done before the frost. Then we're going to talk about the giveaway. Because if I got to go in my house and talk about the giveaway, we can do that. Let's do this part first. First, y'all, let's look and see how beautiful this bed is. It is absolutely gorgeous. So, what I have in this bed right here is, on the back, I have snapdragons that I'm overwintering. In the middle, I have some beets. Y'all, my beets looking good. If you've been here, you know these hands have never grown beets. But we keep trying. We keep trying, and they look amazing. These are the Badger Flame beets from row 7, and then all the way here at the end of the row, we have some radishes. These are daikon radishes from Johnny's. It is the Bravo variety. They grow really big and purple, so they're not your traditional radish that grows in like 30 or 45 days. These grow in about 80 to 90 days. So they've already been in here, I don't know. When did we plant this bed together? Maybe, let's just say 4 weeks. I don't remember. And then in the front that you can't see, you and I actually planted together some anemones that's going to overwinter and hopefully produce in the spring. The variety is from Petal Pickers, and it's called Panda Galilee. It is the most beautiful flower. When I say beautiful, beautiful. So I really hope that we get it in the spring. But what we're doing out here today, I do not have a cover for this. The snapdragons, again, I've never done them outside. I always keep them in my hot tunnel. But again, they have survived at low temperatures, so these should survive as well. Because the beets are established, they should be good, and the radishes should be good. So we're going to do a hope and a prayer. But what I'm going to have my husband do is help me mulch this bed so that at least it has some extra protection. And let's go ahead and we'll water it, mulch it, and then we'll talk about our giveaway. Okay, y'all, as you can see, the wind is picking up. This is a labor of love now, because I don't know if you know my husband, but my husband loves heat. which means he hates the cold. And cold to him is like 45 degrees and above. So, you know, he can't ever live up north. Ever, ever, ever. Me, it's cool. And it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay. I'm okay right now. It's probably like 40 degrees. I'm okay now. Let it drop about 20 more degrees and I'm gonna need to go in the house. I can take it a little bit cooler than him. Now that's true, babe. Oh, okay. He's a tender flower, okay? Let me just tell you. So we got this this bed mulched. Let me tell you about the giveaway. So how you win the giveaway. First, the giveaway dates are from Monday, November the 10th, all the way till Sunday, November the 16th. I will announce the winner on Monday, November the 17th. It will either be in Monday's video or I will make a community post. Again, the giveaway is from November the 10th on Monday all the way to November the 16th. So when you see this video, this is the video that you need to do all your stuff and comment on. So there's 4 things that you need to do to enter the giveaway, and the winner will be picked randomly. Number 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not subscribed. Number 2, subscribe to me on Instagram, livingfoods_farm, livingfoods_farm. Number 3, subscribe to Vego Garden at Vego Garden on Instagram and or on YouTube. And then number 4, comment down below what would you plant in this bed if you win it, okay? So 4 things that you have to do. Not 2, not 1, 4. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to me on Instagram, livingfoods_farm. Subscribe to Vego Garden at Vego Garden on YouTube and Instagram. And then 4, comment what would you do if you won this bed? What would you plant in it? Those are the things you can do. You have until Sunday at midnight to comment. You are either going to comment on this video right here or on my Instagram page when I make a post about the giveaway. Only those 2 places. Don't send me an email. Don't send me a Facebook Messenger. Don't do any of that. If you want to just, you know, chit chat and say hello, say hello. But in order to win this bed, you need to comment in one of those 2 places. Right here on this video, not Wednesday's video, not Friday's video. This video right here, or the video and post that will be on my Instagram page. I cannot wait to give you guys one of this bed. It will be completely free of charge. All you have to do is enter. I will pick a random winner on next Monday, November the 17th, and announce the winner. Also, I just got word from them this morning. I will be doing another giveaway at the end of this month. So if you don't win now, you'll have another opportunity to win at the end of the month. We're going to be doing something special for Black Friday, and I will be doing another Vego Garden giveaway then. So good luck to all of you. Cannot wait to pick a winner. Now, y'all, we got to move. We got to move. We're about to go over to the orchard and cover our fruit trees. Again, I made a list. I'm just going down the list. So let's head over to the orchard. The wind has definitely picked up and it definitely feels cooler. So we are moving with the quickness. So we're using these same fruit tree covers for these fruit trees. And so if you're new here, this is our first orchard. And so we have 13 trees planted out here, and most of them were planted on September the 2nd, and then the last batch was planted on September the 22nd. So for the most part, they have been in the ground for about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, which is pretty good before the first frost. So they've had a chance to get established. But because these are young, new trees and not fully mature, I thought it would be best to cover them just as a preventative measure. Now, obviously, when you have fruit trees that are fully grown and mature, you don't go out there and cover them in temperatures like this. But again, just because they're new in the ground and fairly immature, I thought it would be great to cover them. These bags are absolutely wonderful. I will link them in my Amazon shop. You can just go to my Amazon shop, which that link is in my description box. And then when you get to my Amazon shop, just look under gardening and they will be there. They came in a pack of 12, and I want to say it was between $20 and $30. It wasn't overly expensive, and now that I have them, like, they are such great quality. And I love the drawstring feature, because literally once you put them on, you just kind of close that drawstring tight at the bottom, and they hopefully should stay. Now, I will definitely check in the morning to see if they're still there. But even with this wind blowing, once we got the drawstring on there, we didn't see any blow away while we were out there, and the wind was pretty high. So hopefully they will work. But as you can see, the wind is blowing right here, and they're still staying on. So I think if the wind would have to be extremely high, because literally we have the drawstring tight around the base. Also, you see that we have tree guards on the trees. Again, these are all brand new trees, just newly planted, and so the tree guards are just to prevent sun scald, of course, when it was hot when we planted them, and then also any type of rodents that may chip away at the bark. So if you want to see what's in our fruit tree orchard, I will link a couple of videos up at the top if you want to go back and watch that and see what it was like when we actually put them in the ground. So because I only have 12 fruit tree covers, and we have 13 fruit trees in the ground, and of course we use some on the fruit trees in the greenhouse, I am targeting the trees that are definitely smaller and that are quote unquote younger. If you look over to the right, you can see I have a pear tree right to the right of my husband's truck that when we got it, it was, you know, pretty tall. And so I'm just going to assume because it's so big, it is definitely more mature. And so I have 2 or 3 trees that are like that. So we don't end up covering those. We really just hone in on the ones that are definitely smaller. And then, of course, we do all the ones that were newly planted in the ground at the 6-week mark on September the 22nd. So again, I'll link these in my shop. This is great. If you need something like this, I highly, highly recommend it. Okay, y'all, now we're in the sunroom. It is nice and toasty in here. Feels so good. It's like I only have it on 65, but it feels so good with it being outside. The temperature is much different. So we've already pulled a couple of the fruit trees in the sunroom. So I wanted to show you that. We have the fig tree and the banana tree and the lemon tree. So let me take you off the tripod and show you that. And then we have one more fruit tree out here that we're gonna cover. I'm gonna tell you about that and why we're gonna leave it outside. So this is our banana tree. You can see that we have some browning here, but this has been inside for the last couple of weeks, and the leaves went brown when we actually transitioned it into the sunroom. So I don't know if it was just a shock thing or what, I'm not sure. And then this is the fig tree right here. You see that I bought this grow light. Right now I have it on the Monstera, but you can see when I put it on, it's shining over the fig tree and the banana tree. I did that because at first these were not near a window and it wasn't getting enough sunlight. And so I figured this will help in the wintertime when maybe the sun is not shining so bright. I can use this for some extra light. And so I got that off of Amazon. And then over here is where the lemon tree is. And so far it is doing great. You can see it here. It looks really good. I got a couple of leaf drop, but not nearly like before. And so this has been in here for a couple of weeks. And I really assumed that once I put it in here, all the leaves would drop off like it did before. But it hasn't as of yet. And we'll see kind of what happens. It is in the Vego Garden Citrus Rolling Planter. I showed that on a previous video. We absolutely love this planter. And so it has wheels, so we were able to literally roll it from outside to inside. So all of these are nice and tucked in. Now let me show you the last one. Okay, so this here I've showed before when we planted this up. This is another Vego Citrus planter. This planter can be used for avocado, fig, or citrus trees. It has 17 inches depth. It has the wheels. It's self-watering, so it'll let you know when it needs more water, but it has like a wicking system below that'll wick water. So this is a Satsuma mandarin tree. It says it's good to 25 degrees. And so you guys know it's supposed to get to what's 25? Yeah, 25, 23 and 26. So I'm going to cover this just because it takes not a lot, but we have to, you know, pick it up to actually get it in the sunroom, and then we can roll it in there. So I'm going to actually cover it up, and I think it'll be just fine. This has been out here the whole time. So even when it's been like 30 something degrees, it's been out here. It says that the Satsuma mandarin can be good up to like 20 degrees, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're right on the cusp of that. But I'm going to cover it just because it's going to be, after we have this cold snap for about 48 hours, it's going to go back to the 60s. And so I don't want to pull it in and pull it out. I would rather just put it in when the temperatures are going to be sustained below freezing, and that way it can just stay in there all winter. But because we're going to still have some more nice days, and like I said, the 10-day forecast, we have 48 hours of extreme cold, and then it's going to be like 65 degrees. I'm going to just go ahead and cover it with one of these covers. Y'all, this cover is so nice. This is the drawstring, in case you didn't see it. You just pull it up close, and you can like pull it up tight, and it should secure it. But we're going to just put this over this is my last cover. So it came in a pack of 12, and I want to say they were like $25 for the whole pack of 12. So very good purchase. Now let's see, it might not be wide enough to go over the whole planter. Let's see, the planter itself may be too wide, but we can at least cover it. So I'm going to actually tuck it in just like that, and it should be a-okay. Okay, so the next project on the list is to actually transfer all of our potatoes that's been curing in our garage to our root cellar for long-term storage. So with the weather dropping, it's going to be too cold for the potatoes. Now, in order to cure the potatoes, they were in our garage, and when you're curing, you want the temperatures to be higher, between 75 and 85 degrees. But when it comes to long-term storage, you want a dark, cool place, and you want your temperatures to be around 55 to 65, which is going to be perfect for the root cellar. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to go ahead and do this today, because if it's going to be 20 degrees outside tonight, then it's going to be 20 degrees in my garage or very close to it. And that's going to be extremely too cold for the potatoes. So you see us, we're just loading them up into the wheelbarrow to make it easier to transport them. And then I'm going to meet you in the root cellar. One of the last things to do to prepare for this Arctic blast is to relocate our sweet potatoes and potatoes to the root cellar. It feels so good in here. So my husband has gathered up all the potatoes in a wheelbarrow, and we're gonna be getting them ready to put in here. Oh, I left my trash bag. Let me go grab my trash bag. I have a broom to clean up, it's on the ground, babe, to clean up some of this debris. If you were with me last week, we took care of all of our onions and took them out of the root cellar, brought them in the house, and started processing them for the freezer because their storage life was about up. So I still left all of the onion debris, so I need to get this cleaned up, and then we're gonna start filling up the racks and stuff with the sweet potatoes and see how much space we have. So this was great timing to go ahead and get this done. One of the things when you're storing your vegetables in a root cellar, or any space for that matter, you don't want onions and potatoes close to each other. There's a gas that the onions can give off that's gonna cause your potatoes to go bad quicker, and they just are not good companions beside each other when they're storing. So this worked out good that we took all of our onions out last week, and they're in the house. And fortunately, my root cellar is a pretty nice size, so I guess if they had to be here at the same time, I could probably put them out on opposite ends of the root cellar, but didn't have to do that. So now we're just cleaning up all of the debris, putting it in trash bags. We're going to sweep up all of this extra stuff that's falling on the ground. Now, in case you were not here last week, you may be thinking, why are you throwing away all that good garlic right there? It's not good. It's all bad. So last week, I did a thorough pretty much came in here and got all of the good onions and garlic out and took them in the house. And so everything that you see left, it may look like it's good, but I have tested it, I have touched it, and it is soft and mushy, not good, and it's trash. So that's why we're getting rid of it in the trash can, or excuse me, in the trash bag right there. So once we get all of this cleaned up, then we can start placing our potatoes and putting them where they're gonna go. We're 90% done of cleaning up. We just got a couple of low piles that we're getting the last of and sweeping up and putting them into trash bags. But we got that emptied. We got that empty. In a perfect world, we would take those out and pressure wash them. The ones that had the onions on them, the ones on the bottom levels did not have stuff on them, so they're pretty clean. But because of the temperatures dropping, we're not pressure washing today. That'll be a project for another day. It's not gonna hurt the potatoes at all because obviously the potatoes, they'll be washed before they're eaten. So just to kind of give you an update in terms of why we're relocating the sweet potatoes from the garage to the root cellar is because for long-term storage, the potatoes need to have a temperature of about 50 to 60 degrees would be ideal. And so it's gonna be 20 something degrees tonight, which means it's gonna be 20 something degrees in my garage. That's gonna be way too cold for the sweet potatoes for long-term storage. So it's gonna make more sense for them to be in here. So the root cellar, in case this is your first video that you've seen of ours, the root cellar is 9 feet below the ground. And so it keeps the temperature of the earth, which is around 55 degrees. Right now in here, where's our little, okay, it is 64 degrees in here right now, 36% humidity. Now, so 64 degrees, we got the door open, it feels warm, but when the temperature drops tonight, then of course the temperature will drop in here. But on average in the winter, it's probably around 50 degrees in here. Have you ever seen it below 50 degrees? No. Yeah, I've never seen it below 50 degrees, so it's gonna be perfect conditions for the potatoes. And we'll just come out here probably once a week, get what we need for the week, and then just, you know, be on the way. Now, I've never had this many, I've never stored potatoes in here because I've never had enough potatoes to even store. So this is going to be a first, so we will see how it turns out. And hopefully we won't lose any. Now, potatoes should be good to be stored in this way for a good 6 to 9 months. So we should be good to go. I'm still debating, I may be selling some sweet potatoes because, like I said, we've never had this many, and I don't know if 200 pounds of sweet potatoes is more than enough that we need to last us a whole year. I think so, but I can't be for sure, and I haven't had time to mentally kind of go through the math of how many we eat and all that stuff. But I will tell you this, we had the sweet potatoes for the very first time this weekend, and this past week. When I tell you, those sweet potatoes were so good. The variety that I think that we had for dinner, it was either Bayou Bell or Kerrygold. I don't know because they were all on the same tray. Whatever it was so good. Those potatoes did not need anything. I put some butter on there and that was it. No salt, no sugar, no nothing. They were so perfect. So very perfect. So, yay. So I would say if we eat sweet potatoes once a week, on average, and we usually mostly eat them baked. Now when we're having like company over, then I will do like a candied sweet potato or yam, you know, with like a brown sugar and you know, sugar mixture and like kind of bake them in the oven and caramelize. So we'll do that. But when it's just, you know, us for dinner, we'll throw baked sweet potatoes in the oven for dinner as a side. And so usually I will do 3 to 4 at a time because we'll have, you know, 1 apiece that night, and then we may have some for lunch the next day. So I think on average, we could go through, on average, 3 or 4 potatoes a week. So I probably got more than I need. But that's what we're gonna do, some other stuff too. We're gonna do some other stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead. We have the wheelbarrow full of sweet potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and wheel that in and start laying them out on the racks. Okay, so we have two kinds of potatoes. We have the sweet potatoes and we have our regular potatoes that we did, the red Adirondack and the Yukon Gold. I'm gonna start putting what I call the regular potatoes in our orchard rack here because they're smaller and they will fit. A lot of these sweet potatoes are so big, they're not gonna even fit in between these slats. I think, okay. So in the yellow crate are the regular potatoes. We have about 25 pounds of those. We're gonna use those for the orchard racks and fill those up. And then the sweet potatoes will kind of lay out. So let's start with these bottom racks because, okay, one of the other things that's gonna be good for the root cellar or for them to be in the root cellar versus my garage is when you're trying to do long-term storage of things like this, like root crops and onions and stuff. 3 things that matter are the temperature, the moisture, and light. So ideally you want them in a cool, dark place. The light is going to speed up degradation. And so I see that some of my potatoes here are green. They weren't green when I pulled them, and I wonder, because our garage is always lit up because it's the daytime, and or we have the light on because we're going in and out of the garage all the time. So I wonder if that had something to do with it. But of course in the root cellar, you can see we have electricity in here. So the lights are always off when we're not in here. So that helps with the light versus dark. And then of course I talked to you about the temperature. And then when it comes to humidity, the humidity right now is only like 36 degrees. Now we have a dehumidifier that is in here that we keep in here all year round, because in the summertime, the humidity can get fairly high without it. Now in the wintertime, we probably can unplug it some, because the humidity being around 60% won't be bad for the potatoes. But anyway, let me jump in here. We're gonna move fast and just get this stuff in the root cellar and placed. Okay, y'all, we have the majority of them out. We use the orchard rack there for the regular potatoes, and then we laid the sweet potatoes out because, again, as you can see, most of them are really, really big, and they won't really fit in between those slats. We could probably use the upper part, definitely, because it's open at the top. But one of the things I wanted to mention, you may notice that these potatoes are really dirty. Real food comes dirty, okay? It's not the shiny things that you see in the grocery store. But the reason why I am leaving them like this, we've brushed off the dirt, but I have not washed them, because if I wash them now, that is going to lessen their ability to store long term, and it's going to speed up the degradation of the product with the moisture. So I will wash them very good before we eat them. But as in terms of storing them, you want to just brush off the dirt as much as you can and store them as is before and not to wash them off. Now, if you have not been here, I wanted you to know that these potatoes have been cured. That's why we're putting them in the root cellar. So when we harvested the potatoes back in, I think it was October, I'll link the video up here where you can see where we harvested 200 pounds of sweet potatoes. They were in my garage curing. So when you first harvest your sweet potatoes, you want to let them cure. It is not good to eat them right away because they're not going to have any taste. If you let your sweet potatoes cure for about 7 to 14 days, and they need to be in a hot, humid place to cure. When you want to store them, in a cool, dark place is what you go to. So they were curing in my garage, and remember the temperatures were like 70, 80, so they were curing just fine. But what the curing process does is it toughens the skin, because when we first harvest them, the skin is really, really thin. But letting them cure, the skin gets tough, and then also the sugars in the potato start to, not caramelize, they start to intensify, for lack of a better term. And then that's how you get more of the sweet flavor developing. So you want to be able to eat it after 7 to 14 days after it's cured. So these have been cured. Now they're really just going into long-term storage in the root cellar. When it comes to regular potatoes like russets, Yukon Golds, we let those cure as well. But with those kind of potatoes, you can eat those right out of the ground if you want to, just not sweet potatoes. So we have them all kind of laid out. This is where they'll hang out. I also got me a basket to take in the house for this week's grocery, so I don't have to come back out here again until next week. So I got me some russet potatoes, because I know I'm going to be doing a soup this week. Soup is definitely on the menu with these cozy temperatures. Some kind of soup. Maybe I'll turn on the camera and you guys can cook with me in the kitchen. Haven't figured out what soup I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be something with a potato in it, I think. And then I grabbed some sweet potatoes for another meal this week. So this is all done. I think that from a winter prep, I think we got everything done on the list, didn't we, honey? Yeah. Everything is done. Let the temperatures drop. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with us today as we got things ready for the Arctic Blast. Remember the giveaway and the 4 things that you have to do. I will also put it down in the description box below. I cannot wait to give away one of these beds to a very, very special winner. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.